All right, let's get started. Good morning, everyone. Kitchell, good morning. Tin Talon, Shrimp Father. How we do it? Thanks. It's good to be back. Reth, good morning. Gergman, Petty, Mad Owl, Wick Central, John, and Charmingly Chimera. Hey, how's everybody? Been gone for a while, so I'm probably a little bit rusty. I'll go ahead and apologize in advance. Oh, hey, Reth, it's me. It's me. Hey, Liz, thanks for being a member for 4 whole months.
Thanks for the
That's
sub.
awesome. Rise and shine. Hey, Robin. I think I have quite a few, what do you want to call it? Memberships to give away today. So we'll probably do that right in about an hour. I have exactly 2 hours to get through today. And I'll be honest with you guys, I'm a little bit behind the curve. I haven't done this stuff in about a month. And so I'm a little bit rusty. Just a little bit. What's up, Mike? Good morning, Robin. One second, let me silence this thing. So that's my first mistake. I forgot to turn my stuff off. There we go. Should be good to go now. So how am I sounding? How am I looking? Are we good? Color balance is all right? I think I got all the things on. I got out here a little bit extra early to try to make sure we were good to go, but that doesn't really mean much on a stream like this. All right. So, kind of up in the air on what the plan's going to be. I still do have the Skelefork over here on the bench, 5x5, love it. Still got the Skelefork over here on the bench, and I kind of forgot where we left off. So we could possibly take a look at that and jump back in, but I'm a little bit excited about some of the things that arrived in the last month that will get us further down the road in Workshop 2.0. Good morning, LTX and Reverend. We're doing all right. Thanks for always asking. Yeah, so I'm a little bit excited to show that stuff off and talk through some of the project planning and things like that. There's a lot of new 3D printer news out there that we could talk about. I've got an idea in the old noggin up here and locked away somewhere in this smooth brain where we talk about a little bit of a challenge that I'm running into with the 3D printer. Hey, Steve, good afternoon. PC Van, oh man, that's always hard to say. Hi. PC Van, hi. Okay, so let's do a recap. I think I want to see where we are on Skelefork and talk through. Maybe you guys can remind me because I cannot remember. Yeah, we can absolutely do an update on the move. Let me see if I can pull up a photo of the new workspace. I did drop this in Discord, but for those who may not be in my Discord, I will try and share this. Let's see if I can. Let's see. All right. So right now, this is kind of what the new workspace is going to look like. So this is a basement level at our new location. And through talking with the wife and those kinds of things, it sounds like this is going to be my space. So it's an unfinished basement room. It has carpeted tiles on the floor, so that'll make it a little nice to work on and walk on. But I'm also not worried about messing up new carpet or hardwood floors or any of that kind of stuff. But then I also get some protection from standing on bare concrete. So a little bit excited about that. I'm not exactly sure where in this space I'm going to be and how I want to set that up. Van Fleet, like Fleetwood. I think you told me that before. Van Fleet. But I haven't done this in so long that I'm starting to forget. It is a nice space. It's one of the selling points for us. Also, it's a 4-bedroom, so we'll get to maintain the exact layout that we have, and I will still have a 2-car garage. But the space that I'm in right now that I'm calling my workshop, which is sort of like a 3-foot deep this way and maybe 8-foot long left to right, and then a similar space across my left-hand side over here. That L-shaped space is gone. And so I'm super excited to have this basement that I can kind of expand into a little bit. You'll notice back in the corner over here on the left-hand side of the photo, that is supposed to be a bathroom. So it's plumbed as such, and the space is all there to be able to do that, but it's not completed. So I'm not sure if I want that to kind of be where this current setup is, the view that you guys are seeing right now. I'm not sure if I want it in that space or in the space on the right-hand side with that really cool brick wall look back there. I mean, again, this is a photo that's probably edited to look great. And I really don't know how good the lighting is and that kind of thing. It's difficult to tell how tall the ceilings are and stuff, and what the noise levels are going to be. But otherwise, I really like it. I really, really like it. And to be honest with you guys, we're a little premature. We're still closing on the house. Not there yet. We have about another, let's say 27 days to go. Anything could happen. And to be completely transparent, we're running into some challenges currently. So fingers crossed we get it over the line, but still in the early stages. You want that back wall? Yeah, I really do. Here's the challenge. I'm not seeing any outlets, right? You need power. I'm not seeing any. There looks to be some in that bathroom space, that unfinished space on the left-hand side, but I don't know. I don't have a clear shot of that. I know at that back wall on the right-hand side of the photo, there are no outlets. And so how do you power something without outlets, right? So there's probably some work to do to get the space ready for that kind of thing. So not only are we going to have to pause just to move the entire house across the country, but then also take some time to get set up. So I don't know how long exactly I'm going to be off. I'm doing my best to minimize it. 3D printed toilet project. That's not a bad idea. Just to be a little bit silly. I like it. I like it. Military housing. It is not military housing. This would be on the economy in the city. Come by and help me install power. I would love that. I would love that. I need an electrician friend that can help me kind of run all the stuff, and then just do the inspection or whatever. Hey, nozzle clog. I will be going to Nebraska, so Omaha. If I have an open ceiling, I can drop lines wherever I want. Agree, right? But that's an additional cost on top of the cost of moving and all that stuff, and that's a pretty big bill right when you're trying to relocate. So I'm gonna take it slow and steady, make sure we don't get in a bad spot. Streaming definitely helps. So all the contributions you guys make to the channel, that goes right into making this stream happen. So thank you all for that. Because you've been so generous over the last year and some change, we're able to get new equipment for the studio and stuff like that. But we're gonna have to save up to make some improvements to the space. Great clean canvas. Yeah, Van Fleet, that's exactly what I'm excited about. This space has unlimited potential, really. We could do whatever backdrop we wanted. We can run power however we want. There's a lot of space. Oh, Gergman, thanks for the memberships, buddy. That's awesome. We got Robin and Reverend and John and how do you say that? Lupal Christian and Joel Heim, all members. Congratulations, guys. Thanks to Gergman. That's awesome. How soon do I leave? I will probably be out of here the first week of July. So by my math, that gives us a solid 4 streams before I have to start slowing down to kind of think about packing up all this stuff. So luckily I have this great backdrop behind me that keeps it looking pretty clean, but behind this wall is just a pile of junk that I need to go through and pare down and make sure that we pack things that I need and not a bunch of stuff that I don't need. I don't want to be transporting and eating into my weight allowance on things that I'm just going to toss in the trash or give away. Thanks for the sub. Yeah. Yeah, I appreciate you, Gerg, man. BB's 3D, hey. Thanks for dropping in. Omaha's in your neighborhood, sort of. Okay. Yeah, where are you at, Wick? Thank you, VM. I'm not sure. Reverend, you're gonna have to spell that acronym out. I'm not sure. I'm not aware of that one. Just need a travel shipping container. Yeah, we're gonna get one. I think the way that it works is, I mean, most of you know that I'm military, right? So they're gonna send a semi truck here to the house. They're gonna have 3 to 4 people here. They're gonna pack up everything and load it into that semi and then ship that across. One thing I'm not taking in that semi is the printers themselves. Those things are going to stay with me because I don't trust that they're not going to be damaged or broken. Uh, we like to joke with Steve, who's a friend of the channel. We like to joke with Steve that he has a tri-bent because UPS destroyed his Trident. I don't want to end up in that situation. I don't have the same level of support as Steve does to be able to repair stuff like that. You're on the other side of Iowa. Okay. Yeah, so we had looked at a few places in Iowa, and they're more affordable, but there are not as many houses available, and they're a lot older than what we're getting. The space that I just showed you guys is a 2001, so it's not a brand new house, but it's new enough to where we don't have to worry about a lot of problems. Yeah, Gergman, that's where it came from. Trident came from a Trident trying to get shipped, and then the shipper just damaging it, probably from, tossing it around and treating it like luggage. Lightly used new house, yeah. Lightly used new to me house. Lightly used new to me house. So we'll see if we get there. I'm still nervous about it. I'm not confident to say yes, but this photo is what drew me to it. And then the idea that we have enough space for everything else. So my wife still gets her office. I will have essentially this entire space to do with what I need to do. There's probably enough space in here to even do like a little gaming setup. Bring down all my old classic gaming systems, connect that to a CRT, and we can play some Duck Hunt downstairs. I've got a couple of arcades as well, arcade machines that we could probably put down here and make it sort of a hangout spot. Can build bigger printers. Yeah. So K Fegley, I have a, what is this? ProForge 4, which is a 400 by 400 machine tool changer that I have not built because I have not had the space to be able to do it. So it's legit down by my feet, still in the box. And it's been in that box for at least 2 years. There's also a VCore 3, RatRig VCore 3 400 over there that I have not built, that I've been trying to get rid of. I just can't find a serious buyer for. Hey, good morning, Bill. Not be hard to run that electrical. I agree. I need to get smart on that kind of stuff and then practice. 2.4 tool changer, same. And that's one of the things I want to talk about today. Of course, you might have to move bigger printers if he needs to move again. Yeah. Yeah, so there will be at least one more move. So my plan is to go to this spot and be there for 3 years if they allow me to. And then I'm eligible to retire. I just don't know that I want to do that. If I do, we'll move to wherever we're going to move to. We could also choose to stay here. It really depends on what the next step is in the cycle. I got to have a job. So if I can find one local, maybe we stay for a while. If I choose to retire and not stay local, that is another move. Might have to. You would have someone come and epoxy the walls before I move in. It's a good idea. What, John? What does that gain me? Why would you want to epoxy the walls? I'm just trying to understand. Frame off the walls, drop down electrical, unless you don't mind I don't mind conduit. Actually, I prefer it. I like the industrial look of conduit. What's my rank? I'm an E9. Chief Master Sergeant. Dealing with winter 3 times, you'll be ready to move again. I don't know, man. I'm one of those guys. I'll put on a jacket. Like when we were in Oklahoma, we would get snow, we'd get ice, things like that. I'm still out there running 6-7 miles in the snow and ice. cold doesn't bother me as much as long as my hands stay warm. So if I keep my little piggies warm, I'm good to go. Helps regulate the moisture in the basement. Okay, got it. Water intrusion for the epoxy walls. Yeah, okay. Could just make a weekend of it and can wire your shop. Howie, dude, I would love it, man. Any electricians out there that are willing to help, I'm down. And I'll make sure we take care of you. Hey, Sissy Kid. Hey, Clown Hammer, if I didn't say hi to you. Can't go any further. You would retire after 3 more. I hear you, Kenny. It's been... it's kind of that thing that, you know, every time I try or I'm considering it, right? Let's say I'm 25% decided that I promote. And then I get locked in, right? And then I get to the same point. Like I thought this was going to be our last spot. And somehow I'm good enough that they promoted me. And so now that this is the last time that I can do it, it really comes down to job. So right now I'm going into a really cool position to do a really cool job that I'm excited for. And if they offered me something like that again, that may convince me to do another assignment. But at that point, I'd be at 30 years of service. And 30 years of service is as far as I can go. So I'd be forced to retire at the end of that next assignment. Get permits for electrical? Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Otherwise, your dehumidifier would run a lot more. Got it, John. Is that epoxy wall something I can DIY? Conduit is awesome. Hate to be locked in. Lots of ways to make it look nice. Yeah. Ben Fleet, I wish I could do that in this space. If I owned this house, I would have done that in here. Because right now, I've literally only got the 2 outlets. One behind this camera here, and then one off to that side. So those 2 outlets are on 2 different circuits. So I'm able to run 3 small printers or 2 big printers on the outlet to my left. And then the same on this outlet here. I normally don't. I've only got 1 printer on this outlet because of all this camera gear and lighting and all that stuff. Yeah, tracking breath. CYA. Conduit was awesome. Hate to be locked in. Yep. Realtors retire Air Force plus 100%. Dude, if I had 100%, that would be so great. So in Nebraska, if you guys don't know this, in Nebraska, if you're 100% VA disabled, they will just zero out your property taxes. So where we're going to be living, that's roughly $600 a month that you do not have to pay. It's amazing. Unfortunately, I'm still active duty, so I can't be 100% disabled and be active at the same time. Those two they don't work out. But maybe. Get an airless paint sprayer and do it yourself. Noted. Yeah, I'm going to write that down. I appreciate you, John. I may reach out to you on Discord or something and ask a few more questions. It sounds like maybe you do this. If not, let me know. But yeah, I'm going to look into doing that. Where's my pen? Let's see. Epoxy the walls, and we can do conduit on here as well. I appreciate you guys. I love the ideas. I'll take any suggestions you guys have. Just keep in mind we can't go crazy. This is not going to be a full-out studio. I'm not that pro. Same in Nevada? Great. Hey, Icon. It's amazing what you're doing. Aw, thanks. Tons of veterans in the IT industry. I wish I was smarter in IT. Like thinking back 20 years ago, had I been a little bit smarter than I am, I might have gone IT, seeing as how that's the way that the future is going. I mean, think about it. We created an entire service that does nothing but satellites in IT and, you know, internet type stuff. Not that pro, not yet. IT sales? Hey, maybe. I'm seeing the giveaway pinned on here too. So make sure you guys go in and put your info in there so we can give you some filament courtesy of LDO. They're always great about sponsoring the channel and getting me what I need to continue building new things for you all. In which case, we should probably talk about some of that stuff, yeah? I think so. Let's get into some goodies. So here is where we kind of left off. Let me adjust this a little bit. I probably bumped it with my head earlier. Which camera is this one? This one. And we will come up a little bit. We kind of left off here working on the Skella fork. So I haven't really done anything. I've literally not even been home. I've spent the last 3 weeks in Alabama at school. Hey, Steve, thanks for being a member for 7 months. Also a great human, Steve. I watched a little bit of the Stealth Changer yesterday. And then we needed to go to Burbank and do family time. So we spent yesterday in Burbank at round 1. So I got to play a lot of arcade. I got to eat some sushi at the Sushi Go Round. That's what I was going to tell you, Steve. On your Jerf trip, go to the Sushi Go Round. Kura Sushi or Hamazushi is one of the chains that you'll see all over the place. Either one is good. They're roughly the same. And they are, you know, maybe 200 yen per plate. The more plates you eat, the more prizes you get. So just keep that in mind. So this is kind of where we left off. And I'm not sure exactly how, I'm not sure exactly how far we're going to get today. Or even if we're going to do much of this. But this is the nudge. So I was able to get that. I know we worked on it on stream. I do remember that. I'm not sure if we mounted it or not, but it is on here. And one thing I did not do was flash any SD cards. And I've considered moving this main board back a little bit and then also moving the Pi back a little bit so that we have a little more space between components. Not as critical between the main board and the Pi, but a little more critical between these two just because of the way that the USB ports are installed there. I could do that later off stream, but as I was looking at this build this morning, I was considering that. Probably made a poor choice there, so I'm not going to make you guys suffer through that. I'll figure that out later. I did print a couple more parts, so right now it's set up for sensorless homing on the Y-axis, so there is no in-stop in the rear AB motor. I'm sorry, the rear A motor. So I printed these extra parts that includes a space here for that in-stop. I do prefer a wired in-stop over sensorless. It's just easier, but it does add 2 additional small wires that you need to route with your motor. Not a huge deal. I just didn't want to take it all apart to do it. But I do have the parts, so I got to do that. Also on the back side, we've got a little more wiring to do. Both motors need to be extended, so we have to do that as well. What's up, Danny? Thanks for being a member. I appreciate you. That's super helpful right now. Trying to think about projects and moving and all that stuff. We were shooting the breeze over that a little bit today. So every member helps the channel right now. But we did get the tool head mounted, and I love, like, even if you're not going to do Mad Max Tool Changer, I love that you can just take the tool head off and work on it, service it however you need, and then just put it back on. So that might be a consideration going forward for almost any build you might want to build, single tool head or otherwise, having the ability to just remove your entire tool head and change it, modify it, do whatever, and then put it back on. That is so good. Hey, thanks, Digital Dragon. Luke, I appreciate it. How's the store running? You guys have been open for a little while now. I would imagine you're doing okay. 10 gifted memberships. Holy Christmas, Steve. Thank you. We've got BBs and Icon T Moore, Hero Protagonist 1060, Pat Racer, Hanky 45, Chris Ramsey, LL Dooley, and Thomas Mick. Yeah, all new members. Congratulations. And thanks to Steve.
Thanks for the sub.
Danny says removing the entire tool head is underrated. Get out of here. Get out of here. Yeah, you know what? Since we're giving memberships, let me give away a few. I've got some left in May. We'll do some now, and then I've got more to give away at the end of the month, so probably next week. Let me get back to my window.
Thanks for the sub.
So let's do this. Memberships. We'll give away, let's do 5 right now.
Thanks
and then we'll save the other 5 for next week. Who else do we have now? Meandering Maker, Spectra, Ninatic? Man, you guys' names kill me. Tom Taylor and...
Thanks for the sub.
Who's the other one? Projects in Dad's Garage. Congratulations. Anyone had good experience with using micro SD card extension cables? I've used a few and they seem fine. I think I have one here.
For the sub.
Where'd it go? Yeah, like this. This little box.
Thanks for the sub.
I hit the wrong button. My bad. There we go. Hey, Wind Farms. Yeah, so I've seen this kind. This is a...
Thanks for the sub.
Micro SD card. You put that in there, and then it accepts a full SD card on this side. So I think this is probably better to mount outside of the printer. So you'd need to make a little bracket to hold this, and then the ribbon cable would go in and connect to your Pi or wherever you wanted it, and then you could just use this in and out. I have not used this because
thanks for the sub.
I don't put my G-code on an SD card where I'm taking it in and out all the time. I just send it wirelessly now, but you know, 5 years ago, when we had SD cards that you had to continuously plug and unplug, this might have been better. That's why I still have this and not used it. And I know they make small ones that take a small SD card extension.
Thanks for the sub.
I've got a few of those as well, but again, I have not employed it. Neon color printer is so good. Thanks. Yeah, it's a little bit neon. This is like a flat baby blue from KVP. This is older filament. This is a flat purple from Inland, so Micro Center. And then the UV reactive uranium yellow is from Fusion. I like 3 colors on my printers, even though most of them recommend 2. I like a 3-color printer. So where you have limited space like that? Yeah. I didn't have much luck with one of them. Yeah, it can be hit or miss, but no flashing the board. Just like SD cards, all your machines have small SSD. That's a great idea. That's a great idea if you have the room. I do have some space right here at the back that I could use for something like that, Bill. And maybe not so much here because I need to connect the power inlet. All right, so that is that project. Let me show you guys another project and give you a status on that one. I posted this the other day, I think in my server, definitely on Instagram. It's the Virtu 3. So mine needs a couple of updated parts. So RH has, I've been building this secretly on the side for a while. It is basically there. There are some updated parts that RH put out that I do not have on here. But this is my build. Not fully working yet because I was going to do those parts and I had to leave, so I didn't get the chance to do it. But this is the printer. So much to look at. You ready? It's killing you with the 2.4 will be Darkwing Duck or other character thing. Yeah, you were telling me that. I would love to see it. 10% real uranium. Yeah, I like this one. This one is good. This one has monolith motors from LDO. So these are the Speedy Powers, 2504s. They are 54 millimeter length shafts. So I had to customize these mounting brackets a little bit, make them a touch taller so that I can actually use the longer shaft on this. Customized a couple of prints here so that I can cover up the end of that extrusion. So this is a me thing. I just wanted something on there to cover up that raw aluminum. I also added a bunch of bracketry to this. This project is the Virtu, Steve. So RH just released this probably a week ago. This is a beta kit, well, not even a kit, a beta build. So a lot of beta parts, and it's just now final. I do have the updated parts printed and ready to go. So this is one of them for the, this is this right-hand motor mount, or sorry, belt mount, idler mount that goes there. I need to swap it out. There's slightly increased tolerances and things like that. So it hasn't been a huge priority because what I have works, but it's made by RH. You can find it on his GitHub. It's called the Virtu. It takes an E3, so an Ender 3 Pro. You remove all the components and parts. You can reuse some of it. You'll need other parts for some of it. And then you will need to purchase a few items as well. So I purchased new uprights here, and another piece of 4040 is what I bought. I then had to drill some extra holes and things like that, but RH does include the drill jigs for those things. So you can drill your own components. Let's get you a better lighting solution here. So you can drill your own components. It's running a Rapido. There's a Cartographer V4 on here. The extruder is built into the tool head. So this is using a Sherpa gear set. And it's kind of all in one compact area. Belt tensioning is done by just stretching the belts out and then clamping things together. So there is not really a lot of tension in the tool head itself as far as being able to tighten that. So you get it snug, and then you use something like a V0 with turning knobs at the rear, A and B motor mounts to be able to tension your belts. It's 2040 and 4040 Van Fleet. Ender 3 and 4, 300 millimeter 2040 V slot. Yeah, so if you guys are interested, let me post. Let me take you over to, we can get rid of this. So RH3D GitHub. So if you come in here, you'll go to Virtu. And this is the project. So right now it is firmware, but if you go to his website that he's got linked, you can find the Virtu E3. And this is the project. So here's the printer performance. From the builds that are complete that I've seen as part of the beta testing, these numbers are pretty fair. It doesn't get much bigger than like an Ender 5 as far as actual outside volume and space that it's going to take up. Yeah, Armor 3D is building his right now. I'm ahead by a little bit. I need to get back to this project. It's literally zero extra time. Talking about the frame, you get the 2040 and the 4040 with blind joints. I chose to add extra bracketry and things to mine to stiffen it up even more to really take advantage of the Quad XY that I have installed. Those motors can generate a lot of torque and movement in the frame, especially an open front like it is. So I chose to add extra brackets to try and reduce that as much as possible. Toolhead is pretty light, around 260 grams. That's a positive. What else? There is a 2-wheel drive setup, so you don't have to go 4 motors. The front motor mounts can be replaced with idlers instead. And the idea is to keep it cost effective. So if you have an old Ender 3 sitting on the shelf, this is actually my very first printer that I could never get rid of. And so it's been collecting dust for the better part of 3 years. And when I saw the project, RH was kind enough to include me in the beta group, and I started converting it over to this. Really excited to get this thing going. I need to dedicate time to it. Yeah, Clicky Pro, BD sensor, you can use all that stuff. And then the 12H rails on all axes is in progress. So it's there. There are build things in here. There's sourcing. There's not a kit available as far as I can tell, but it is in the works. But there is a BOM that you can look at, and everything is here. You don't need a ton, so extra hardware basically, and then a few rails, maybe a couple motors if you want to update your motors. Hey, Booty, good afternoon. And then your frame extrusions here. So you can reuse your Ender 3 stuff, or you can get new stuff if you want to do that. But you'll need to drill some extra holes and things like that for the blind joints. So this is all the information. Let me drop this link for you all. If you're interested in building one for yourself, you got an old Ender 3 laying around, you can go right there and check out RH3D's great work. Like Gergman mentioned, Armor 3D Printing is building one live on his YouTube channel. So if you can go over and give him a follow his streams, you'll get to see the process of the build. And I totally missed that Bearded Printer gave away a membership. Thank you, sir, for doing that. That went to David Vieira. Congratulations. It is still beta? I mean, kind of. He did release everything. There are still slight improvements being made. However, it is to a point where you could build it right now and probably be successful. I think it is beta only in the sense that some parts may improve over time, or tolerances get tweaked a little bit over time. For the most part, it's ready. Looking for a project to reuse a lot of mixed parts. Van Fleet, this is the one that you probably should consider. And I'm not getting paid to say that. So, but that is the project. The filaments, that's always the question. This is Polymaker Gray ABS, and the purple is Ambrosia. What is it? Grape something? Where'd it go? Whatever their purple. It might be Prince of Purple. Yeah, I think it's Prince of Purple. What are your thoughts on the Virtu versus Ender 3 NG? I like this better. I'll be honest, I have not built an Ender 3 NG. I collected all the things. Hey, Nathan, good morning, or good afternoon, actually, for you. I have not built the NG, although I did get all the parts to do that conversion. I just never got around to it with other projects in the way. I like this one. I prefer linear rails over rods, and this is all linear rail. I also like this because it has belted Z-axis. So it uses the compounding effect of pulleys to be able to lift your bed very smoothly, and it rides on balls. So you get true 3-point leveling with the Maxwell kinematic, just like a rat rig would. All right. The belts being ran through twice on pulleys like that gives you a lot more control than a single route. So I do like that. And there's tensioning built in down here below with this very small screw that you probably can't even see. But there's an M3 screw there that you tighten to tension these belts, which is awesome. It uses apex clips up top to secure the loose end, so that if you do need to remove the belt, say it stretches over time, you want to add a little more tension, like a tooth or two, you can just remove that clip, add the tooth or two, and then retension down below. So very, very slick setup. What else? We should probably take a look at the electronics. Like I said, I'm using our cartographer on this one. It's a V4. And the fan I'm using is a, what is that? This is a vendor fan from West 3D. So one of their higher output RPM fans. Bowden tube comes up here, and then you do have the wiring umbilical up top. So the Bowden comes in, will come down below, and then there'll be a holder that goes here on the side. This is the electronics. I chose to go with a Manta here. Added some additional cooling. We've got pretty decent labeling on all of my cables. Let's see if I can get you a better shot on this stuff. And let's zoom you in a little bit. How's that? So pretty minimal wiring on this guy. I've done as much cable management as I could at the time, using a couple of Wagos down here to distribute some power. But my motor wiring comes down the left-hand side into the board, and then my umbilical comes down the right-hand side into the board with my SSR here for the custom bed plate I did. Now, you could fully use your Ender 3 bed plate for this. You will need to drill it, so you'll have to be careful of the traces when you drill that plate. You know the way Principal Purple looks, built your 350 2.4 using that. Yeah, it's kind of shiny, but there's also like some glitter in there too. So yeah, this is Prince of Purple. Yeah, so all of that. And then you have 3 60mm fans down below that will provide airflow through the electronics area. The side panels here are used to not only enclose all your electronics at the rear, but they're also vented. I did some mod to it to add some mesh down below, and then just did a dual color print on those. The updated parts for these are available. It will cover this end of the extrusion that's exposed right there. I didn't care so much. It's fine. And then if you wanted, you could print those covers for the rear, but there is a rear panel that goes on here. I chose to get a smoked rear panel, and it'll go right into these heat inserts all the way around and just really kind of cover all that up. But that smoked rear panel will allow me to see through, which is a cool effect, I guess. One mod some of us did was get a new plate built. This one is from Mandela Roseworks. So this is their CNC cut plate. It is cut to the same size as a stock Ender 3 bed. So it's a 235 by 235, and it will use a stock Creality Ender 3 bed plate like so. I just got this magnet and plate off of Amazon. I think it was like 20 bucks or something. And the plate you can get from Mandela Roseworks. It'll have the 3 points used, so you don't have to drill anything. You don't need to do any of that. He also added in a place for grounding down here at the back. K Fegley, you can get it from West 3D. It looks like this. There's some Prince of Purple. And there's if you just go in there and add kiloprints to your checkout link, you'll get 5% off. It does use the standard Ender 3 power supply, so that's a 360 watt. There's a mod. The updated parts for this are also, I think it flips the PSU upside down to better use the airflow. I will probably do that. I think there's a bottom panel. I don't remember. There's definitely a deck panel, and I do have that one here. So the deck panel, you're gonna have to move this up. This kind of goes in like so and secures down around the belt. So you really clean that up really nicely. Yeah, Wade does amazing things. Yeah, K Fegley, I love Ambrosia stuff. I mean, you see my backdrop. I've got a lot of Ambrosia here. Their PLA is pretty good. Their ABS comes in really cool colors that are hard to get anywhere else. Very unique thing they're doing over there. Oh yeah, last thing, I chose to use 1.5 GT belts on this. So those are all 1.5 GT belts and pulleys and idlers and things like that all the way around. Last thing I did was add a bunch of bracing. So that is these brackets here. I don't know if it's necessary or not. It made me feel good. The unsupported front here can be a challenge because these both want to, separate. But I mean, I can't get any movement out of that now with the extra brackets and things on here. So that's the other project. Let's take you back out. So that's that project. TBD, still needing to finish. I think think I'm pretty close. Just need to do some, oh man, there's like so much like dust on here. It's been very windy out here, and the garage is not completely sealed, so we get dust in here sometimes. Going to use our PLA for your Moab build. Nice. Bottom panel, no enclosure. There you go. Yeah, you need to build one. I agree, David. It's a pretty fun build on Patreon. Got it. What else did we get? I don't know that I showed these off, but let me bring this box over here. Some more goodies arrived from Jason. You might notice that behind me over here, we've got this guy, right? So this is the $500 Doom Cube, and I wanted to do a refresh on it. Specifically turn it into a tool changer. So, like always, the team at LDL hooked it up, supplied a few parts that we can use to do that. This is the Stealth Changer top hat and door buffer kit for a 300. They don't make it in pink, so I went with black. I think it'll be fine. That's an empty box. I know that because it says that. Hey, good morning, Additive Adam. We're shooting the breeze today, man. We're just talking about projects and things and stuff and moving and all that. So if you got anything to contribute, let's talk about it. Just want to check this out. Oh, look at that. It even comes with foam tape. But yeah, you guys have seen extrusions before. These are all black anodized. Very nice extrusions like always. And Adam, thanks for being a member for 7 whole months. That is awesome. That means you're probably one of the first people to subscribe to the channel. Powder coated if you want to. I could, but trying to match the pink frame that's already on there is hard to get an exact match. But also the pink is not my favorite. I think it's too pink. I want to intentionally tone it down a little. I like the pink. I just need to do less pink. And so having the corners be black and some of the other portions be black would help with that. Whoever bought you the monthly subscription, thank you. I think that was Steve. I think that was Steve who got you the membership. Hope to see me at Open Sauce in July. That's going to be tough. I will be in Nebraska in July, having just moved into my house like the same week as Open Sauce, so I won't be nearby anymore. They also sent over the base kit for the Stealth Changer, and I haven't really unboxed any of this, so I don't know what is in here. Some PCBs. We've got the Hexa adapter in here. That's great. That allows us to connect as many Nighthawks as we need, up to 6. A small toolkit. And ooh, this shuttle kit. That's the very nice CNC'd carriage that comes with a Stealth Changer. So the LDO version of that. Very nice. So Jason and the team over there really hooking it up with all the things we need. Of course, we'll have to go through, make sure we do a good review of all the stuff that is required to make sure we have everything before we start this project. But this could be one of the first few projects that we do in the new space. I'm not going to start this now. And then I don't know what this is. Oh, it's a 36. Nighthawk 36. Awesome. Stealth Changer version. I wonder what the difference is. First thing to do, drop it on the floor. Rev C+. Okay, so this is the same as what we already have on the salad fork. But the box says it's the Stealth Changer version. I don't know what's different. Doesn't matter. Optional drop test done, yeah. I drop stuff on the floor all the time. All the time. Cable length, probably. Okay. I did notice that they weren't terminated either on the main board side. Not terminated. But I think the daughter board itself is probably the same. So he sent over 2 of those. So we'll have a two tool changer. That's hard to say. 2 tool changer. Yeah. So that is what's on the docket. Awesome. There are other stuff that arrived. I got a side pack Trident frame and panels to be able to do the updated Trident build. So whenever those new parts and pieces come out, I'll probably, I think I have enough parts to build, again, another Trident. So I have 3 Tridents. That kind of makes sense if you think about it. Trident is 3 and I'll have 3. So we'll do another one of those with a side pack using a Dilpitif frame and panel kit. And then I probably only need lead screws and we're good to go. So plan for that one. Cool frame, side pack electronics, graphite bed, and I don't know what hot end yet. Probably tricorn. Yeah, I think tricorn. 2 of the Impreza prints so far. 2 tools is so handy. Yeah. Yeah, and then having the expandability of the Hexa board to be able to add additional tools later on, great idea. So it'll be an evolution project, taking something that is nice, but updating it to something that is more useful for me. So excited to do that. Milo V2 kits. Ooh, I'm not a CNC guy. That's what I reach out to LTX for. He does all my stuff for me. Former Trident is now teal and has R2 parts. Nice. It's not my former Trident. It's your current Trident, Bill. I'm happy to hear that you have finished it though, or at least got it rebuilt. Okay, so I think we should probably see about this stealth fork, salad fork, Mad Max build, whatever we're calling it. Let me bring that back up here. All right, so probably extending these wires a little bit. On your K1? On your K1 what? Oh, ABS and PETG didn't work well. Uh-oh. Our printers ever really finished? No, they're not. You're right. They're not. There we go. Just want to snap that in there. So wiring I have left to do. I need to extend these. I need to connect this. What is this? The end stop. Yeah, I need to connect the X end stop, and then also mains wiring, and probably shorten the fan wiring here for the case fans. What's my favorite go-to bed? Go-to bed problems for Clipper printer. You're looking to add one to your Rook 2020 you fly with? Oh, probes. I like a cartographer probe. They're affordable. The version 4 is pretty nice. It comes pre-flashed with USB firmware. This one's unopened. I have this for one of the other projects. The version 4 is already pre-flashed with USB, but you can also flash it for CAN bus if you like. It's got an 80XL built into it, so you can do input shaping, and then also there's I think a temperature probe that you can use for chamber temps if you like. But this is what I like. I think they're like $40. Beacon is also really nice. If you have issues supporting a Chinese manufacturer and want to go Beacon, you can go Beacon. What did I do with it? I've got a couple of beacons down here somewhere. You can go beacon, and I think those are roughly $70 and get a lot of the same capability, but it does not use CAN bus. Negative war on China, you would like to add an extruder. Okay. I don't know if there's a mod out there to allow you to do that. I haven't seen it, but I haven't also looked. So maybe. But out of Atom, other probes that are pretty cool, you can look at the BD sensor. That's a very small eddy probe, like the size of a dime. If you're tool head space limited, you could go with something like that. That's what I'm using on the Antithesis and on, what is it? The Trident we just built, Legacy Fork. The Legacy Fork we just built. I tried to do a BD sensor. You updated your Cardo V4, and that'll be on your 370 build with the Nighthawk 36 all-in USB mode. Cool. Super Pinda, yeah, Super Pinda's good. It really depends on the tool head that you're trying to use. The tool head is going to dictate what probe is going to be best. And then also you need to decide whether or not you are going to use like slow method, right? Because realistically, you could go all the way back and use a BL Touch if you really wanted to. It's just going to be slower, and you got to be okay with that. So there are a lot of different solutions. It really depends on tool head size, what you want to do with it, how reliable you want it to be, those kinds of things. John Doe, thanks for the DM. I saw that come through. Appreciate you. Rocking the Dragon Burner tool head. Yeah, so Dragon Burner I think works best with like a cartographer or a beacon. 8mm Pinda style on your Dragon. Yeah, you could use a Pinda if you like. I don't have any of those spare. But anyway, let's get some wiring done. I've got roughly an hour. Let's see. I need some extension cables. So one thing that I do, like if you guys build a lot of printers, one thing you can do is buy motor cables by themselves and then just snip the end off, solder these together color for color, and now you've just extended those wires. That's what I'm probably going to do here. But I know that I have specific wire. Here we go, these. So like this right here, not that guy. This right here you can get on Amazon. These come, I think this was like a 6-pack, and it was like $9. But they come with these DuPont connectors on the end that I don't care about. So you just snip those off. You've got normal pins. Actually, these are 6 pins. So we're going to have to take both ends off of this. But all I need is the wire anyway. So I'll remove this 6 pin, remove this, and then wire that inside the main board over there. I will keep one of these around when I snip it off to make sure that I match the color for the 4-pin JST. And then that way, and that way we have the exact wiring order that we need for the main board. Built an orbiter-based ant head using Rapido. Very cool. Very cool. Yeah, these, on this particular project, Bill, we're going to use, I got the other tool head up here. This one is a lot less wired and finished, but we're going to use the Revolcano. So it's a Revo hot end with a Humera heat break, and then a Volcano style PTC heater from Triangle Lab. Also in here are Volcano style bi-metal nozzles. So it's a copper nozzle that is nickel plated, but it's got an insert that is the diamond style insert. So these are going to be exactly the same. The other tool head has the same stuff. Why are we using that? I don't know. It's because I had it, I guess. I had 2 of those for this project. This project was probably 3 months of planning and collecting and organizing parts to make sure I had pretty much everything I need. So I'm just going to take off these connections from these generic wires. I'm going to just toss these. You don't need them. And then now I just have 4 wires. They match the colors on here. So once I take this JST off, we just match color for color, do a little soldering, a little heat shrinking, and then we have what we need. So let me get the super cool solder kit out. I've shown this before, but I have not used it yet. I got the kit from Solder, SOLDR, minus the E, because in America we don't spell. But it came with this really cool case. And what I liked about this was that it's like half printed. Is it any good? I don't know. We'll find out right now. But it comes in this thing. So this came out of that black carry case. And we unlock, right? And then it has this little fold-out, like kickstand deal. So it sits like that. And then this folds down. And then I have all my stuff. Looking for an adapter to do that. Is there anyone here that has a modded CR10 V3 by moving the breakout board from the X-axis extension down to the toolhead? Ooh. Spectra, you may have to build your own wire harness to do something like that. Yeah. Jeff Geerling showed this off. It's a nice little solder kit. Yeah. So Jeff and I guess, we're drawn in by the same stuff. But this is your soldering iron down here. It comes with this little flippy-doo, and it's magnetic, so it just kind of sits on there like that. It's one of those USB rechargeable ones, so who knows how long it lasts. We'll find out. But then it's got everything in here. Little, snips. There's charging cable, some solder, some wick. This is for solder paste. You have another toolkit up here that is, everything is magnetic, by the way, and it uses like a gridfinity system. In here, there are some tweezers and things like that. This is a small scalpel, if I could ever make it pop out. Yeah, this is a small scalpel to be able to scrape away solder mask if you needed to. There's extra tips in here, solder tips in here, those kinds of things. And that goes up top. If I spin it the correct way, there we go. This is also magnetic, and this is like a tip cleaner. So there's a small brass brush inside here and a rubber cover. You just kind of rub it. And then we have the multimeter. These are like small clamps. So if you've got this guy, the OmniFixo, it has very similar clamps to it, like this. These are 3D printed versions of the same thing that are magnetic for there, or I can just use my OmniFixo arms as well. So I love that the plate is magnetic to be able to do things and hold stuff. So yeah, we're gonna put this guy to use and see what we get. Check Discord stream chat. Sent me a picture, or sent Adam a picture. Cool. Did I get the fume filter thing? I did. It's this guy right here. So the kit, I got the deluxe kit, whatever it's called, and it came with all the things. All the parts were already printed, etc., etc. So this has a little light, and I can turn the light on to be able to see. You can kind of see that there. And then there's a fan that will extract the fumes. I don't know if you can hear that. Let's see if I can get close. So there's a little fan with a filter that'll take the fumes out. It's USB rechargeable. There's a rechargeable cell in the base. Nice, but not seeing a heat gun for the shrink wrap. No, you're right. We don't have that. I've got this. my mini torch. You set a PID tune on your end of 3 and you get an error. Existing config autosave is corrupted. Can't complete save config. Ooh. There's a way to get around it, Spectra. You can copy those PID values and just replace it into your config under your extruder PID area. So just take those values and add it to the appropriate areas and then save it. As far as the error, I'm not exactly sure why, unless you have your extruder section saved as its own individual file. It may have trouble saving back to your printer.cfg file. So I've seen that before. Not exactly sure if that's what you're seeing, but I gave you the workaround. All right, let me start snipping these things. Maybe we'll get 2 wires done here today. The reason for the a little bit shorter stream is because we've got a meeting with our realtor about that house. Pricey kit, yeah, don't disagree. Now that it's not on Kickstarter pre-sale or whatever it is, it's a little more pricey than it was when I first put in for it. But you are paying for the convenience. You're paying for the printed parts. Documentation is okay. Like, I wouldn't say it's great. You can get through it, but I would recommend reading everything first and then what's I gonna say? Reading everything first and then deciding to assemble. Good torch can fix that. Yeah, I've got this torch right here that I use for everything. I got this at a smoke shop, so this is for lighting cigars normally. It's got an angled head on it, and it works pretty well. I have to fill it up fairly often, but it's okay. PIDs are unchecked in extruder and heat bed are they supposed to be commented out? So Spectra, when you do a PID tune, once you get those values, and you save them the first time, it will comment out the stuff in your extruder section, and then down below at the very bottom of your printer config, you'll see some double hashtagged PID values that are saved. And so those at the bottom is what the printer is going to use if they exist. You can uncomment your stuff in your extruder section, input the new values that you just got on your PID tune, and then save config. And then it will use the values that you have in your extruder section, the uncommented values. If you're going to do that, I would delete the stuff you have down below, because otherwise you're going to have a conflict. It'll probably still try to use the values you have at the bottom. C3PO's torch. Yeah. Yep, something like that. I feel like we should wrap these cables while we're here. I don't think I have any purple wrap, and I hope that I have some black wrap in the same size. Yeah, I've got this 5mm wrap, probably a little big. I wish I had some 4mm wrap. Ooh, and I do. So we've got some pretty thin cable wrap here that we can use to wrap these wires to make it look a little nicer. I've also got this fancy like black and silver braided stuff that we could use if we wanted. Let's see, what else are you saying here? Running on SD, you can download copy of config files to your PC maybe to save current state. Yeah. Yep, I would back up regularly anyway. If you use, I forget the guy's name right now, but there's a tool out there that you can automate your backup. You just create a GitHub page for your printer. You can mark it private if you really care. And then every time you save and restart, it'll push that config back up over to your GitHub page. So you always have the most current version of your printer. But up to you, man. Andrew Zimmerman, is that the name? Either way, Clipper autosave, I think is what it's called, or Clipper backup autosave, something like that. All right, so we got that. Let's turn this guy on. I hope it still is charged. Oh, it might be dead. We might be going old school. All right, do I have a USB port over here? Need a long cable. And the one I have is no worky. I can use this one, but it's USB-C, and I need a USB-A. What is this? All right, so we're just gonna go old school. I can't make this one work right now. Oh, sorry, my head's in the way. Eric Zimmer, and that's it. Hey, Thunder Keys. Thanks for popping in. Haven't seen you in a while. How are you? Come on. The grid doesn't always align. There we go. Okay, so that's not really going to work for us right now. So we're going to go old school. I'll charge this. We'll use this one next time. I don't think that is a rechargeable one. Probably a Pine Sol clone. Yeah, I also don't have a USB cable handy that's long enough to be able to use it right now. Let me check in this drawer. Yeah, like the one I have is like this long, which fits on screen. That's not long enough to work with. I need one that's probably at least 3 feet long. And I don't have one handy. It's powering other things right now. Ooh, here we go. Oh, that's a C to C. I need an A to C. What is this? Oh, HDMI. Yeah, I just don't have one long enough right now to... Or, hold on. Here we go. I lied. I got one. Got one right here. USB-C laptop charger works best. Yeah, I saw that Zombie had posted something about that. I need to add that to the cart. Yeah, the streaming PC I'm using right now uses a laptop USB-C for power. All right, this should work. Let's try it. Yeah, it's my first time using this style of hey, look at that. Now it works. You're absolutely right. It does need USB-C power all the time. Sweet. Let's see if I can get this thing up to temp here. So it's going quick. Oh yeah, she's hot. Easy. I have a much smaller solder that I like to use versus the one that this comes with. It comes with some really thick, probably generic solder. So I'm going to pull it off of my solder station as I drop a bunch of other stuff. We're going to use this. So this is a much finer wire. I don't remember the size, but we're going to use this instead. Only 26 likes? What are we doing? This is the way you need to like it. And then we'll use our things here. Get you a tighter shot on what's going on. Let's see how close we can get here. Make sure I get PD3 power brick with 80 to 100 watt. What's a PD3? He said, no, you. Are we fighting about who liked the stream? You guys are funny. Ooh, they don't close far enough to touch. Sorry. Yeah, they don't close all the way to be able to touch there. You can see a gap in between, so I don't know how that's going to work. Luckily, we have other sources, like our OmniFixo, that does close all the way. Just going to tin these up. I don't normally like to do soldering on stream, but we'll make do today. Give me something to do. Kit from Kickstarter. It was. You can get it from their web store now. But it is mostly 3D printed. Super compact foldable case. Comes with this little light and fan. So we'll turn that on so we don't breathe our fumes. This is magnetic, so it just kind of attaches to the side. Hopefully you don't hear too much of that noise. PD is power delivery spec. Cool, got it. Thanks. Yeah, I will I'll look into it. It would make sense. Just tinning those, and then we'll tin these motor wires here. Probably a little too tight on the shot. Let's move this out just a touch. Sold out on their site. Dang. What's up, layer by layer? Just got here and you liked it. Coach your bickering. Get him. Get him, Steve. All right, we're going to do this one open air. Hopefully with no magic fingers. Cool. And then we can store that right there. Cool solder station. Thanks, Clown Hammer. I didn't design it. I just bought it. And so with that like that, it would be easier if I had thought about this earlier and removed this motor, but I don't want to do that work. I've already got belts run and everything. I'm not trying to do that. It's going to be much more difficult though. How can we solve this? Okay, what if we did this, right? So let me take this soldering iron off and move some of this, and we'll turn the fan off. Put this away, and then I swap it for something else magnetic, like my mini toolbox over here. So bring this over. And now I can do that and hold my wire to be able to connect. How's that? Is there a kit for this yet? You saw the bomb, but didn't see if someone was carrying the kit. You talking about the solder station? The solder station you can get at their website, SOLDR. If you just Google that, you should be able to find their site, but somebody was saying it's sold out. So maybe it's not available right now and you just got to wait for it to come back. So let's get some heat shrink. Oh, the Virtu? Yeah, so you can go to rh3d.xyz. Here, I'll drop the link again. There you go, Steve. If you just go to that link, you'll find the information you need for the project. Once you get there, you need all the things that an Ender 3 Pro would come with, and a few other bits and bobs. So just go through your stock, compare it to what's on the BOM, and then you'll need to work off of the CAD model. I don't think that there are instructions. If you're not in his Discord server, you can get in there and ask questions. Some of us have built them. Other people are further along than I am. Some of the cheap ones only trigger 1 voltage. Still good to check for spec. Use PD trigger modules to power all your small projects. Okay. Moving us over to the paint booth. You guys kill me. Okay, let's see if we can get 4 wires done here in a reasonable amount of time. So I want to do a little bit of heat shrink here. So I don't forget. I'm probably going to add that to all of them. I tend to forget heat shrink from time to time. And we need one more piece. Has information on virtual printables. Yes. Yes. But I would recommend getting in and talking to the folks that have built the beta kits. You can reach out to me. I'll do my best to guide you if you do have questions. But realistically, your best bet is to jump into the Discord and ask your questions over there. You probably get quicker answers and better answers. You tried this out. I was hoping someone was going to do an off-the-shelf kit for the non-Ender stuff, just being lazy. I mean, they might, man, but this project just came out a couple of weeks ago. So you are probably a little early in the cycle for that. It could happen, though. I don't like the way that looks. Here we go. Stay. And we'll do some greens. This is the tedious stuff that I just, oh, I dread it. But this is the stuff that's like that last 10% that you got to do. Just can't get around it. I wish small motors would come with larger wiring, or longer wiring, I should say. Oh, that didn't even work. Let's try that again. Okay. Don't you hate when your heat shrinks too soon? Yeah, that's why I pushed it down the wire a little bit, and then we'll move it into place once I get the wires done here. I just don't like soldering. It's just not my favorite. It's very tedious for me. I got to be in the right mood to do tedious work. It's like building a puzzle, you know? No one wants to do a puzzle all the time. I mean, I guess some people do. But it's like just mind-numbing work that you got to get done because it's required, but it's just not my favorite. Let's get rid of that point. Let's see. So let's add a little bit more on here. Okay. Doing 6 tools yesterday was like, can we get this done already? Jeez. Is that for your Micron? Or are we talking the big one? Name brands are always a good bet. Have a couple Lenovo. Try to avoid old USB when you can. Good idea. Yeah, you want to do your best to keep the blobs of solder. Like if you're not very good like me, you want to do what you can to try and keep those small. Because when you put all this together, you're going to have like a huge bulge. Another way is to like stagger your cuts out. So you'll have, you know, a cut here, cut here, cut here, cut here. That way the blobs of solder kind of nest with one another and keep your thickness of your cable a little bit thinner. I've seen that as well. We're not doing that here. We're just going straight across, which will give us a little bit of a bump right around the middle here. You have 2 Anchor USB-C chargers and you love them. Okay. I appreciate all the recommendations and stuff. I definitely need to look at some of that. Yeah, there's always new tech to add, new things to get, different capability to buy. I mean, I'm a little bit on pause just because of the move. I don't want to acquire really anything right now because it just makes the challenge of moving incrementally more difficult. Okay, so all those look good from where I'm at. We're not going to zoom in on that because I don't need you guys to know how bad I am. But they should work just fine. We'll move all this heat shrink into place. I guess I'll just do one at a time here. So I'm using the smallest diameter heat shrink that I have. Hitting it with a little heat. I think this is probably like a 1.5 millimeter diameter heat shrink. Just looking at it by eye, that's what it appears to be. Cool. So those are all good to go. And I'm going to leave that long. I'm also wondering, do I want to add on like a cable sleeve? It would clean up this end of the wire at least, but routing this is already tough because it needs to come in front of the vertical bar that I still have loose and need to retighten. I did have to take the frame apart and add in some extra M3 nuts. And so this vertical at the rear, you can't see that because I have not moved the camera yet. This vertical in the rear is still a little wobbly because I haven't tightened it down yet, so I need to do that as well. But the wiring needs to come across the front. I mean, we have clearance. It's fine. But that little bit you could still see. So I'm wondering if I cover that And then from here, it can kind of enter into the cable chain and go down to where it needs to be. Or maybe we just don't care and we press as is. What I am going to do is zip tie that to the motor itself, though, to keep it a little more clean. Where are my long zip ties? So I've got these thin 8-inch zip ties, and we can just go around this motor. Kind of tuck that wire up against the motor body. That'll help us with, if you do pull on that, it doesn't pull it out, because these are not replaceable wires. They're like soldered into the motor itself. And so kind of keeping that up against the motor housing will alleviate any strain. So just a small bit of slack there, so that when or if you pull on that, it's not going to be damaging the wiring inside the motor. Those are a pain to fix. You don't zoom in on solder joints for the same reason. Is that why you don't cover it in your shorts, Danny? You solder as good as I do? Is that why? I don't know. I hate it, so I don't do it. And because I don't do it, I don't practice. And because I don't practice, I don't get good. It's a known weakness, and one that I'm just not willing to spend time to improve. All right, let's do this other one here. If you guys are not in the giveaway, we're going to do that in, I don't know, maybe 10 minutes or so. 10, 15 minutes, whatever it takes me to do this last one. We'll do that giveaway. We'll wrap up stream for maybe 5 minutes or so, and then we will end. How's that sound? Black shrink tube about 3 inches should work. I don't think I have 3 inches, so I've got this guy. I've got this kit of shrink tube, a bunch of different sizes and things like that. I don't have anything that's 3 inches, but I could double up some of this bigger tube. I could put 2 of these lengths on there. This is roughly 2 inches. So I could do a couple of these, and that would perform the same function. Or I do have just black like this, a couple inches that we could use. I was thinking about just using this. I'm not crazy worried about it. I'm a little more wanting to take care of the tool head wire. So if it bothers me, I'll add it on. We can do that at a different point. That one's good. Let's do this guy. I was taking off like maybe 2 millimeters of insulation on this. 2 or 3 millimeters. And my other wire is over here. So I'm hoping that we can get this project done before I need to move. I would like to get a first print on this and then play with this, tune it in a little bit. But I know that we only have a certain number of streams in the cards before I have to pack up the setup. So we could do that. And then if we get an extra week or something, maybe we just do like a chat and chill, kind of talk about how I plan to pack these printers for a move halfway across the states. That may be of use to some folks that plan on moving, like how I would prepare a printer for shipment. I guess not shipment because we're not shipping it, but like transport, I guess. All right, I need one more small piece. Then one of these small pieces I'm cutting into, you can barely even see that, but this small piece I'm cutting into thirds. So I can get 3 pieces out of one longer piece. And that seems to be good enough to cover the joint plus a little more. And we'll do what we did before. We'll just tin these up. Ugh. Oh, it cooled down on me. We'll let that come back up to temp here. One thing I don't like is that it's got to be plugged in. The cable is annoying. I do like the size of this soldering iron though. It's a little more compact than my other one. Okay, so those are good. Let's do this other set. Could add our battery bank. That's a really good idea. You know, I don't own a single battery bank. Can you believe that? I've never really needed it. I'm not one of those people that spend hours on my phone every day, so I don't need it for that. I don't really use any other devices, so I don't even own a battery bank. You just got a 20,000 for travel? Dude, I travel a lot, but like my travel is different than most people's travel. Like I don't do, I mean, I do some commercial, but mostly I don't. So when I go somewhere, I'm normally flying mil air, which means I have access to outlets and things like that. So if I need to charge something, I just plug it in. Gives me a much more rapid charge and it's kind of unlimited. So I don't know, I've just been spoiled. I haven't super had a need for it. When my phone gets too old and doesn't hold the charge anymore, it gets recycled and I get a new phone. Like use it to charge laptops on the go. That's the thing too. I don't use a lot of laptops on the go. And even if I am, again, I have the outlet, so I just plug it in. I don't know. I realize that my my situation is not everybody's situation, so I get it why you might need it. I just personally have not had the need. But also I kind of grew up like battery banks were not a thing when I got my first cell phone. And so like I never really adopted the habit of having a battery bank. I didn't grow up like that. But I get it. I get it. All right, red to red. Just trying to get stuff organized here. You go to replace the Z-axis bearings when your stall changes, the clicking when it lowers after changing tool is driving you nuts. Yeah. Yeah, I would check that out. Investigate the noise, find out what's going on. The Doom Cube behind me is kind of doing something similar. Not a click per se, but like a binding on the right rear Z-axis. I don't know what that's about. I don't know if something is rubbing somewhere. I don't know if something is just not rotating. Something got tweaked in transport, but it's not moving like it should. And so part of the rebuild was driven by the fact that it's got that issue. And so luckily, we've got awesome sponsors to help out. Ah, should let that cool first. Let's take this red one out. Come on. Give me a little trouble there. Sponsors are pretty awesome on the DIY side. They are, man. Like, I would not be able to do half the things I do without them. Not without going into crippling debt. I will say that though, just because, you know, folks like me get to enjoy this, don't put yourself in a bad spot just to build a 3D printer. I've ran into a couple people that have done that, overextend themselves to build the next cool thing, and it's like, I mean, it's a hobby. It's not that important. What is more important is that you keep your house, right? And that you can afford to eat food and have fun and enjoy things. You know what, Kenny Sims? You want it all and you want it now. I mean, we all want it all and we want it now, but make sure that you can do that and still be around to use it. No, I've been very fortunate. I'm not gonna lie. Very fortunate to have a understanding spouse and a decent job to allow me to do it. Queen, OG, see you on Steve Stream. Yeah, all good, Bill. We'll see you over there. We're gonna wrap here in about 15 minutes. So for those that like to watch Steve as well, we're gonna be wrapping right about the time that Steve begins, maybe a couple of minutes into his stream, so that once the stream ends, it'll push you guys directly over there. There's no need to click anything. It'll push you over there within like 10 seconds. So you can do that, or you can multitask, but either way, we're going to take care of you. Make sure you get over to Steve and support that fantastic human. But before you go, if you need to get into the giveaway, I would go ahead and do that. I don't do countdowns and things like that. I give you the warning. You take heed or you don't, and reap the benefits of whatever decision you make. See if we can get both of these this time. Cool. Now we have 2 extended motor wires. Awesome. I'm going to cut the end off of this guy too. Perfect. So those will need to be shortened over time. I need to do more routing and all that first. I'll probably take Bill's note, maybe add some sleeving there just to clean that up. It's a pretty clean build, so why ruin it on, you know, some of the finer details? So I'll get to that eventually. Like I said, we've got to do some realtor things here in a few. So if I get some more time this afternoon, I'll jump back out here and get to work again. Let me just move some stuff back to where it belongs and give you guys just this amount of time that I'm rearranging the desk to get into whatever form you need. The link is in the chat. Get in there, click that pin link, put your info in, and hopefully we get to select you as the filament winner for this week. Pocketbook isn't lighter because of delays. You didn't get a... Yeah, Gergman, up too. I didn't get a Founders Edition, but I also didn't try. I want to see it more. Not that I'm worried about it, but I want more support for it before I jump into it. With all the problem solving that I've had to do recently on some of these projects, I'm just not ready to do more problem solving and adaptation. Putting Mad Max on this salad fork was rewarding mentally, but also challenging to figure that out. And I don't know that we're out of the woods, so I want to pace myself a little bit, especially with everything else going on. Ooh. Clean that up, put this away. Especially for those of us looking at a dev kit. Yeah, I would love to see like a Trident aimed kit. So you could just buy this box, the stuff shows up, and then you're good to go. That's what I'm interested in, what I'm looking for. So if that happens, great. I've got a Trident frame kit over there that we talked about earlier. I would love to put index on. So Bontek, if you're listening, hit me up for an index kit. I just got an Inno 3 Max Neo with an enclosure and filament 125. That's a great deal, Spectra. Great deal. Multi-tools are pain for real. Yeah. I'm interested in doing the hard thing to learn the skill sets that I need to expand my capability. But I know that that comes with a lot of frustration. But I'm here for it. You don't know where you put the enclosure, it's huge. I mean, do you have to use it? Put it in the garage. But in the meantime, let's do this filament giveaway. Let's take you over to the Wheel of Names. Let me pull the form. If you're not in there, you need to get in there and fill out the form because I'm about to close it. I'm seeing 41 responses. .2020 extrusion enclosure. Oh, with the plexi? Wow. Well, I mean, if you don't feel like you need it, what you can do is just save that 2020 and cut it up, use it for something else. A garage, what's that? It's the place you put all your junk. It's kind of like a storage unit that's attached to your house. All right. So if you're not in there, SOL, sorry, you're going to have to try again next week. We're closing the form. As soon as I can remember how to do it. There we go. Close, save. All right, I'm seeing 42 responses. So somebody got in right at the last minute. And who was that person? That was Bearded Printer. All right. So many updates. Okay, let me pull your names down. And put them here. We got everybody? Are we good? And I'm gonna turn chat off so that we could see everybody's name. 1 second. There we go. All All right, so we got everybody in. How many times are we going to shuffle this thing? Could add a couple dozen times. Thank you for your time and consideration. Well, Bearded Printer, I appreciate your interest in national security, but I couldn't do that. As he has printers in the garage. 13. Tulsa Ken says 13. 27. I think LTX, didn't we say that I would get you next time? 419, I'm not doing it. Not doing it. Get out of here with that craziness. I hope you add more tool heads to your printer and have to deal with it. 63928, not happening. $68. Oops. $419 to it. It's a -1. I don't know that I can go negative on this. But I think I did promise LTX. So let's do 27. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, and 27. 17 for Rona's 17-second win. Ronda's? What's a Ronda? 17 for Ronda's. Oh, I gotcha. Rousey. Yes, the fight last night. Got it. Took me a second. I saw that on Instagram this morning. It was so short that somebody made a short on Instagram about the fight. Rigged? I didn't even spin yet. Now we did. If I win, it's rigged. No, come on. Come on. That can't be true. That can't be true. Petty Ruxpin, are you here? You have 69 seconds to reach out to me. Thought it would be a good fight. Yeah. It was a good fight for 15 seconds. Petty Luxpin wins again. I've been giving him enough crap that he probably deserves it at this point. But of course, if he's not here, then it doesn't matter. You've got 60 seconds. Michael says NG's good, or the what? For the Ender. I mean, they're quality. I could say that. They're quality. You won't have issues with it. I think they probably slightly flow better for an Ender, but you'll have to do all that testing and find out. But Microswiss is a quality brand for sure. Always the bridesmaid, never the bride. Well, here's the thing. He's not here right now, so we may get to do this again. Just text me until you can have his film. He's got 19 seconds. 19 seconds. I hope you guys clip this and tag him all over social media for it. Rigged and it didn't even matter. Ruined his luck. Yep. He probably went over to hang out with Steve and missed out, because that's the buzzer. Petty Ruxpin, you suck again. Remove. All right. Now, what's our number? Ascent press F for 10 joules. Bueller, yeah. Fives. Seems a couple fives. Nothing really matters in the end. Right, you can't take the filament with you. 23, 17. Crystal's like in 1. Seeing a few 7s. Okay. Let's do 7. You know what I need? I need a wheel that I could spin over here with numbers on it, and then we can like spin the wheel to then spin the wheel. I think I like 7 today. Seen a lot of 7s. Vanna Prince. Yeah. Yeah. Vanna Prince. I like it. Like DeWitt does. Oh, does he do that? I haven't caught DeWitt in a while. Is Havoc here? Havoc 3D. I don't remember seeing them in chat. 4 wheels, one to decide which of the 3 to use. There you go. There you go. But I'm thinking like with that huge wall that John recommends I epoxy, maybe that's where we put a wheel and we can spin a wheel to then spin a wheel to then spin the filament wheel. Havoc, are you here? 30 seconds passed. There he is. All right, Havoc. I'm going to reach out and send your information over to the team at LDO. They're going to reach out to you for your address and stuff because I don't want to be responsible for that. Once you get that email, respond to them with what color and filament type you would like, and they'll get you taken care of. If that doesn't happen within a couple of days, reach out to me like I know you know how, and I'll take care of you because that means I forgot to send your info over. So I'll do that immediately after stream. Cool? Congrats to you, and thanks to Jason and the team at LDO for always giving away filament. Very good. Oh, one more thing. I forgot because I'm rusty. When you print something with it, tell me what you printed. Jump in the server, let me know. Show me pictures. I'm always interested to see what you guys are making. Great stream. Community's here for you. I appreciate you, Gerg, man. Yeah, it's going to be fun the next couple of weeks. So a recap for those that may not be here, I'll give you the 30-second spiel. We've got roughly 4 streams, right? So this one plus maybe 3 more, maybe 4 more, depending on when they're coming to get all my stuff. I need some time to pack everything and get it loaded. Once they pick up my stuff, I am pretty much dead in the water, streaming wise, until we get to our new place and I get settled and I get things set up and all of that stuff. So could be a month, could be 2 months. Hopefully no longer than that, but I mean, the enemy gets a vote and we'll see what they do. Cuberon soon. Okay, I'm not familiar with a Cuberon. What is a Cuberon? Let's Google this together. "3D printer for ants? Cubitron, is that what you're trying to say? It takes what it takes. There you go. Takes what it takes. You built one? YouTube it. Okay, I'll check it out. I'll check it out. Cubitron, is that what you're saying? The one right here that has your name on it that says icon? This guy? The top video. Okay. This guy right here from Robert G Code. That's cool. What's the cost on something like that? It looks fully 3D printed. Couple of rails, okay. Runs on USB-C, that's cool. Rubik's Cube is AI. That's your video explaining when you built. You added a heated bed, okay. Looking at ant heads because of the icon. Dude, ant head is awesome. That's what we're using on here, on the Skelefork. At least according to your experience, solve Rubik's Cubes don't exist in real life. I saw somebody that like can juggle and do Rubik's Cube at the same time. Like 3 of them. I don't know how that happens, but they were able to do it. So maybe it is really fake. Dude, that's wild. Is that 3mm? Yeah, 3mm belts. So you're using positron belts. And looks like a bamboo hot end. Or bamboo style. Witchcraft. No, it looks like a little cool project. Oh, I see. There's like a LGX light extruder in the back. and it's running a Bowden style. That's really cool. No hot end fan cooling. It's just the side mount. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I'll check it out. Thanks for sharing it. Positron belt cutter. You had a friend CNC aluminum bed and added a 50 by 50 silicon here. Very cool. Can't print peak. Actually that project seems like it'd be a good candidate to print from PLA, honestly. Because if you're just printing the cube, you know, kind of base that you're just bolting things to, you're not using a heated bed, at least in that example, because it had blue tape. Yeah, I mean, that would be a good candidate for PLA printing. I'll consider it. We'll add it to the maybe list. I've got the one we're doing now with scallop fork. There is this one here that we got to rebuild. There's a Trident kit over there that I'm excited to do. And then one thing I forgot to mention is, 1 second, I'll be right back. I've got some SLM parts for another build that are even better. Let me see. What did I do with them? This guy and hold on, where'd it go? I don't know what happened to my SLM parts. But I posted about these, and here we go. Got them. So we've got this lightweight titanium X gantry. That's one. I didn't show any of this. These are PPS carbon fiber. Drop it on the floor, remember. PPS carbon fiber motor mounts. And then for SLM, those of you that stuck around to the end, you get to see the goodies. We've got this. All SLM aluminum. I need to drill and tap holes still. Yeah, if you can think about what printer this could possibly be for. Hummingbird extruder. Yeah, there's so 3 of these. Those are all coming soon. So several projects to get through. Merc, you're absolutely right. Kitchell is supporter of the day. This is a Merc Hydra, actually. The 1-bit Merc with the enclosure, yes, it's going to be Nebula with Hydra. So these are the arms for the bed for the Z-axis. I still need to find a bed, and I think I have just about everything else. PPS CF10 V2 parts, they're awesome. Okay. Yeah, that's what those that's what these are. These are PPS CF10 Fibron. Printed on the H2D. Came out great. And then I just did a bit of sanding on the bottom. It's hard to tell, but a bit of sanding on the bottom to level that out. And then the top is as printed. So this is one of the side front motor mounts. And then of course the titanium Ender 3 gantry, or sorry, Ender 5 gantry. So it should be a pretty fun build. I do have electronics for it. I've got hardware for it. I need a bed and I need some Z motors. But pretty much everything else is there. Try it on tool head mounts. Will do. But gents, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to wrap us up for the stream. I went about 6 minutes over today. If you hang on for about 30 seconds after stream, it's going to automatically push you over to Steve and support him if that is your thing, okay? Thanks for hanging out with me today. It was a nice, good warm-up. I'm glad we got to chat a little bit, answer questions, talk shop, talk about the move, talk about some printers and upcoming projects. I'm excited to do all of it. Hopefully I have the time to get through it. But definitely we'll be back on Skelefork full time next week. We'll do some stuff behind the scenes to put us in a better place to finish up wiring at least. We'll get into firmware and things like that next week. And hopefully that means we can get some first moves pretty quick in the next week or two. All right. Again, appreciate every single person here. Thanks to LDO for always supporting the stream through Filaments and making sure we get some extra parts and pieces to be able to do some of these builds. So shout out to that team and all of you, those who gave gifted memberships and have become members on your own. Every little bit helps the stream, and I'm 1000% grateful for all the support. We'll see you guys next week on Sunday, and take care.